Honourable members, as we close the 50th New Zealand Parliament, I want to thank you all for giving me the privilege of being its Speaker. Since I assumed the role 19 months ago, I have strived to referee the proceedings of this House in a way that has treated all members fairly in a non-partisan way. Whilst some of my decisions have been questioned, I leave with an absolutely clear conscience. The 50th Parliament has sat for 227 days, a total of 1,058 hours, and what is pleasing is to note the limited use of urgency at 79 hours and the increased use of extended sittings at 110 hours. This reflects the very successful changes made to the standing orders after the last Parliament. I also want to note the extraordinary commitment of my team of presiding officers. To the two retiring referees, Eric Roy and HV Ross Robertson, you will be sorely missed, and I wish you both well with your lives after Parliament. To my other presiding officer, Lindsay Tish, depending on the election and the will of this House, it is possible that we may have the opportunity to work together again, and I look forward to that. As other members have noted, I also want to acknowledge the staff that make this place work. The recent Performance Improvement Framework review of both Parliamentary Service and the Office of the Clerk highlighted the very unique nature of both organisations. It noted the special dedication of the staff to this complex and to the way the democracy actually functions in New Zealand. So to all security staff, building services staff, travel office staff, to Bellamy's, telephonists, receptionists, VIP drivers and all the others, a huge thank you to you all. To my office staff of Lisa Kinlock, Oliver Whitehead and Roland Todd, thank you for making my job possible. We handle our challenges smoothly. To the Sergeant-at-Arms, Brent Smith, thank you to your team for maintaining the traditions and the dignity of this House. I want to particularly acknowledge our Clerk of the House, Mary Harris. My job would be near impossible without her wise counsel on a daily basis. The strategic intentions for the Office of the Clerk were tabled in the House yesterday. Those directions set 4 key core values for the organisation, which are impartiality, accuracy, integrity and expertise in parliamentary matters. Honourable members, these are the values that are indeed the values of Mary Harris herself. She is an exceptional clerk, recognised throughout the Commonwealth and honoured this year with a Queen's Service Medal for services to Parliament. Mary has signalled her intention to retire in May next year, and she will leave a huge gap. To her assistant, Andy Lindsay, your enthusiasm and hard work are second to none. You serve your office and this Parliament with distinction. I also note the retirement today of Faye Patterson after 25 years' service to the Clerk's office and her direct involvement with the table in this House. Faye deserves to be recognised and we wish her well with her future. The other person I have been privileged to work with over the last year is David Stevenson, General Manager of Parliamentary Service. He has done a wonderful job of guiding Parliamentary Service through a challenging time following the release of personal information to that Henry inquiry. I value his work and that of all of his staff, both within this building and in our electorate offices. To my parliamentary colleagues on the Business Committee, the Officers of Parliament and Standing Orders Select Committee, thank you. On all those committees, we have worked together as we've progressed agendas, if somewhat hastily due to the earlier than anticipated election date. The new standing orders are an acknowledgement of the way this Parliament continues to change and to adjust our democracy, which I can assure you is respected and in fact renowned throughout the world. Whilst we now all wait nervously for voters to determine our fate, if I am fortunate enough to continue this role, I intend to progress three particular challenges. Firstly, modernising the daily prayer in a manner that is acceptable to the vast majority of members of Parliament. But with strongly held views, this may not be as easy as it sounds. Secondly, changing the way Parliament interacts with Maori protocols. I was embarrassed that two of our women members of Parliament were offended at a traditional perfidy held at our last Youth Parliament. I hope to modernise Parliament's Maori protocols so that all MPs are treated with respect regardless of gender. A third issue that I mentioned earlier today is members taking photographs within this chamber. There are very strict rules for the press gallery which they must abide by, and I think it'll become increasingly difficult for me to enforce those rules if there are different rules set for members of Parliament. That will probably be a job for the Privileges Committee as it makes further progress on some of those social media issues. To all retiring members of Parliament, thank you for your services to New Zealand. Your valedictories have been varied and interesting, and I wish you well as you chart your new directions. To the rest of you embarking on an election campaign which will determine your future direction, good luck. Finally, in the words of Speaker Sir Richard Harrison in closing the 39th Parliament in 1981, he said, "I wish those of you who are standing for re-election the success they deserve. In that way, I'm being entirely impartial." The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The House stands adjourned until 2 p.m, Tuesday, 19 August 2014. Kia ora.